engage this as well. A number of people, I think educators, are mostly asking about resources, right? How do we do this work in the classroom, say, or at the school level? But also, yes, how can we navigate, right, this new landscape and know, how we continue to do this work without finding ourselves in trouble
Yeah.
with, if we live in one of these places where we're under attack. But Jesse, I know again you're in this work and working for several organizations that have many such resources. Can you say a little something about that?
Yeah, first, I want to say that I think that we need to forthrightly defend our right to teach critical race theory. I think many people are saying, well, the Republicans have just invented this idea that critical race theory is happening in schools. And it's true that a lot of educators didn't know about critical race theory until the Republicans introduced us to it. But it's also true that a lot of anti-racist educators share common goals with critical race theory and would learn a lot and deepen their practice by studying it. And I think that critical race theory is actually confirmed by the attacks against it, because some of the central claims of critical race theory are one that any advancement in racial justice will be met with a white supremacist backlash, right? Well, that couldn't be more clear than what we're seeing right now with the uprising of 2020, bringing so much racial consciousness to the fore, and then the backlash against it, right? And then, also, I think understanding that critical race theory helps us understand that race is a social construction and instead of a biological reality. And unless we want to go back to the days of eugenicists who believed in the biological inferiority of people of color, I think we need to really analyze how we can use critical race theory in the classroom. And we can also draw on lots of other traditions, though, like ethnic studies and Black studies. And I would point people to blacklivesmatteratschool.com that has all kinds of resources and an opportunity to join the week of action during the first week of February, and also the zineducationproject.org that has hundreds of free downloadable lessons from a people's history perspective on the Black freedom struggle and so much more.
Thank you, Jesse. Adrian, I'm going to give you the last word. What would you lift up? And I'll note that we will follow up with a link to the recording soon thereafter with a transcript and with a list of these resources that have been mentioned here. So Adrian, what do you want to lift up?
Yep. I would encourage teachers to find a formation, right? To find places where folks are educating and organizing themselves. So we're always learning. We're always engaged in political education. What are the issues in our community? Sometimes we think they're just Democrat, Republican, and often they're not. It's livable wages, it's affordable healthcare, it's affordable housing. Those are all critical race theory topics. And as Jesse pointed out, I mean, we're living them. People are living them every day. So I would encourage teachers to kind of, again, find those places in their communities where folks are trying to organize for a better life for their students, and it helps to educate yourself. So before you design your anti-racist lesson, or even go find a set of lessons that are anti-racist, kind of understand what's happening in your community. I always encourage teachers to understand kind of the history of race and racism and opportunity in their own school districts, in their own communities. And kind of start local, and local is always really, really important. But to be a part of a broader movement in your community.